Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's time for another episode of Viewport Relay, a bi-weekly podcast where the Viewport team looks at the latest news in the gaming industry. I'm your host, Albert Corsten, and I'm joined as always by Tristan Jung.
Hello.
And Alex Nestor.
Hey, what's up?
Alright, guys, it's a new month. It's a new day.
You're not wrong.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were going to say something.
It's a new hour?
But you know what? You know what you can say something to? You can say something to, what have you guys been playing?
I should have been ready for this. Every week I am not ready for this segment. I don't know why.
I ask it like most every week.
I know what I've been playing. I'll go first. I've been playing Yakuza 0 on the PC. Full 60 frames per second. Glorious medium settings, because I only have a 960. It's fun. I just got into the RC car section, and I guess I'll be there for the rest of my life.
Man, you're in for a wild ride. I love that game so much. And the series is just fantastic. I'm glad it's getting a lot more popularity as of late.
What are some, I hear the missions in that game are crazy. Like, what's the weirdest thing you've done in that game?
I'm only in chapter 2, so I haven't done anything too crazy. I mean, I have gone dancing at the club. I have gone to karaoke. I have gone to the adult video theater so I can get the achievement.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The achievement.
The achievement.
What kind of movies do they run there?
You know what? I didn't know. It was too much for me. I just closed my eyes.
Oh, okay.
Waited for the little achievement sound to pop up, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. You finished off with the trophy?
Yeah, I finished off with the trophy. Wink, wink.
Oh, God. All right, Alex, what have you been playing?
All right, so something Tristan and I have kind of been doing is dabbling in some multiplayer co-op Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. It sounds completely absurd, and it's probably one of the most gentle multiplayer experiences you could ever do. You just sit there, play with your friend, build rides, try to one-up each other with scenery and things, and you just watch your park flourish. It's beautiful. It's art.
Is it just you two, or is it more people in there?
You could have more people, but we just play with ourselves because we just like each other too much.
What's better than playing with yourself, right?
We have a private server. It's very, very calm. It's like walking into like a Zen garden. And then once every 10 minutes, something goes insanely wrong, and one of us just shouts, "Oh God!"
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's when people die.
I was gonna say, how many visitors have perished?
Actually, I would say it's a very little number.
Yeah, we actually have very few people who have actually died in any kind of accident. But yeah, it's basically just a mini game of seeing what's the cheesiest ride we can make, and people will actually want to pay a lot to ride it. That's one of the big mini games we do. And I think we've been fairly successful in some of our endeavors, but others not so much.
Nice. As for me, spent the past 2 weeks at least putting in 40 hours of Octopath Traveler.
There you go.
The review is out now. Check it out now, but getting back into some Mario Tennis, and then doing some post-game content on Octopath.
So, has Mario Tennis gotten any post-EVO balance patches?
There was one the week before EVO came out.
Oh man, completely changing the meta up right before a big tournament?
They nerfed a lot of... The Waluigi got a big nerf, Bowser Jr. got a big nerf, and then they had some buffs to Toad and Toadette because they're not very good. And then Blooper came out, new character.
Oh,
Blooper.
Blooper. He's really hard to use. His movement's really slippery. I don't know, but it's a new month. We're playing games. Our listeners are playing games. Let's check in with Twitter correspondent Tristan Jung to find out what the listeners are looking forward to this month.
Hello. This is Twitter correspondent Tristan Jung, filling in for repping the viewers here at twitter.com.
Are you filling in for podcast host Tristan Jung?
I guess so. We've asked our listeners and followers, it's finally August. Which release are you most excited for? 30% of people said We Happy Few, with Yakuza Kiwami 2 trailing in at second with 26%, and Shenmue 1 and 2 in third place with 17%.
Wow, pretty good. Yeah.
Some love for the classics going on there.
Some big open world-ish JRPGs coming out, action games. I really want to play Shenmue 1 and 2. I'm excited for that.
We've also had the shout out for Monster Hunter World on PC, thanks to M3_Hammer. And our own Frostalight said, am I allowed to say Hollow Knight's final DLC? If not, that's Gambit.
Ooh, interesting choice.
And then someone said Fallout 76. That's not coming out in August, sir. At Dearest Dragon.
They can be hyped, alright? Todd Howard's influence knows no bounds. Some sleeper releases I was looking forward to. We had a Picross S2, a puzzle game, come out last week. And then, what was that other game? Overcooked 2 came out this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. Are you gonna pick that up for PAX weekend? We could cook some overs.
Mm-hmm. We could cook them over easy.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you, Tristan, Twitter correspondent. Battle Royale is back. And our first story today is Fortnite on Android does not want to use Google Play. And this comes, I guess, before the news broke yesterday that Fallout 76 will not be on Steam and instead will be on their own Bethesda launcher or whatever you want to call it. I don't think they have a name for it yet. But do huge games like Fortnite and all the Bethesda games in general, are they just getting sick and tired of the, I don't know a better word, but
Gabe
tariffs? Newell. Tariffs? That's a popular word, right, nowadays?
Gabe Newell has a
the Gabe Newell tariff that Steam and things like the Android Play Store are imposing. Do you think that it's going to be common for... I mean, Fortnite's already on its own thing. It's on the Epic launcher, but do you see kind of all the big publishers just eventually moving to their own digital rights management platform?
So here's the other thing. This is just related to Steam, but Steam has been losing users since the beginning of this year. There has been some correlation with PUBG's decline, but in either case, I feel like a lot of people are moving away. We have Battle.net, or whatever it's called now. It's become really easy for people to implement their own DRM. I think Denuvo is the really good one that is very hard to crack, right?
Yes. It used to be hard to crack, but now they're like it was touted as it would go months until it was cracked. Mm-hmm. It's still pretty good. It takes 2 weeks to crack it, so the initial sales aren't hampered as much, but not as uncrackable as before.
But I mean, in general, I think there's no reason for publishers and developers to be kind of bound to Valve. It's really easy to set up your own thing, whereas maybe 10 years ago that was not the case. So I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more companies move away from Steam.
Mm-hmm. And for a company like Bethesda, it gives them a greater degree of control over user-generated content, I feel, especially mods that will be coming out for the games. They could be forcing it kind of into their own browser system.
I was going to say, is this a big... I mean, this article originally started with Fortnite, and they have a lot of microtransactions, but is this... It's like underhanded. It's essentially Bethesda saying, hey, we're going to push back paid mods again, and it's only going to be on our platform. So if you want mods, you're going to have to get it on our platform.
It definitely someone opens the door for that, but I don't think Bethesda in their right minds will ever make that decision, because I think the community will be extremely angry if they do such a thing. Because they kind of tried that in the past, and there was a lot of pushback, so I don't think people will accept it now either. But I do think that having their own platform does give them that amount of control where they could implement a system that is a lot stricter in terms of how they can control it.
Actually, the other point is that Steam right now is horrible at group management, voice chat, video chat. I mean, they've gotten better.
Right.
but it's definitely not at, Discord levels. And I can see different developers kind of wanting to implement their own, kind of group up system. Cause right now, if you have a group on Steam, it's not the same as a group in game. It's kind of very convoluted. So I can see this as a way for them to implement their own, version of these features.
Right, and they can make menus a little bit more user-friendly than Steam's kind of tacked on more and more menus. It's gotten more and more confusing to navigate the site, I guess you could call it. But, the application. But
how about as users, though? As users of these things, do you want... I mean, maybe let's say that the quality of experience is better from all these games if publishers... I mean, EA did it, right, a long time ago with Origin. Ubisoft did it more than a couple years ago, but with Uplay. Do you want to be in a world where, hey, the experience is better on this platform, but now I need 9 different freaking DRM management things because everyone wants their own?
I think things have changed. Maybe like 8 years ago, I used to use Steam as an all-in-one tool, right? Store, DRM management, game management, chat, and now I just use Steam as a launcher. I see it the same as Origin, Uplay. Like, I find no use from Steam other than it just launches games. So I wouldn't be too annoyed in the long term.
Yeah, and I think I would just add on that it's a very effective, I think, more for pinpointing their marketing. I think Steam at this point has just grown so large that it's very hard to get people to look at your specific game and publisher content. So by doing this, putting all your published games under one umbrella, it makes it a lot easier to push content that people want to see right in their faces.
That's true. I definitely agree with that. But I do think that big AAA games, I think that Bethesda games sell well regardless of how... Yeah. EA, on the other hand, has some smaller titles. I mean, obviously Battlefield, things like Mass Effect don't need any recognition. But they have like their... FIFA. Yeah, things like that. But I think some of their EA Play games definitely do get a lot more recognition standing out on their own on the Origin store as opposed to Steam.
Right. I could see this actually being a pretty big boon for some of the indie games that they bring in and push. I think those indie games will see a pretty substantial increase in visibility if they actually use this kind of separate platform approach.
Yeah, and who knows, maybe this will spark something from Valve to sort of improve the, personalization of the marketplace for users. So if they do start seeing a hit in users and sales, they might even, I don't know if they might even drop the amount of percentage that they take off the top to entice things. I mean, there's already other great digital stores out there like GOG and Green Man Gaming that have much better deals than Valve. So
GOG has their own launcher as well.
Yep.
Oh, do they?
Yep, they do.
Okay. And GOG, that's DRM free, right? So they don't need a launcher for that one.
But bringing this back to Fortnite, because that's what this podcast is about.
Fortnite, the podcast.
I'm very interested to see where this goes. There's a number that they have in the interview. It says 250 million devices are Fortnite ready. Like, they're gonna make so much money off of this thing. It's insane. I can see why other companies might want to do this, right?
And even just looking at, and it's not the number of users, it's purely you've seen mobile game statistics. It's like 1% of the players make up 90% of the sales on a game. So just with the amount of users that you have, that 1% is so much bigger. All right. We're rolling on. We're rolling. Royale News Network, RNN. Here we go. Next story. And by the way, this is the last story, so if you're the first time, don't worry. This literally is not Royale News Network.
I actually hop out after this segment.
Yeah, Tristan just leaves. He just grabs a coffee, just chills out.
Drops.
Where we dropping?
We're dropping?
We're dropping right here. PUBG creator says, quote, "We're not esports ready yet, at the PUBG Global Invitational. And this was about a week and a half ago, and since then the tournament has ended. But based on a couple of articles I've read of people who actually attended the event, it was pretty hype. People definitely liked watching this game as an esport, and the major complaints online were the viewing experience was suboptimal, mainly due to like camera issues, like they weren't really catching the action. There were also some reports of like network complaints. Obviously, it's always been a hot contention with PUBG, especially of netcode, and I was behind that wall and I saw the kill cam, and I was behind the wall and he shot into nothing and I died. But the question I want to ask is, it's definitely a much different esport than we've seen in the past with Battle Royales, and PUBG Corp released a 5-year roadmap that they want to put out for like their game and competitive play. Do you see viewership sustaining over time with Battle Royale games, or do you think it's a fad that's just going to eventually pass?
I think 5 years from now, looking at the trend of games, we've talked about this a little bit before, right? We've talked about how zombies were like a big thing, and the MOBAs, and now Battle Royale, my favorite fad. I think by the 5-year mark, things are going to start slowing down a lot. Like, it's not going to be this crazy. I think that 5-year roadmap has to be like a 2-year roadmap for it to be effective.
See, I think that, but then you look at League, which 10 years now has been going on strong. And it was, just like PUBG and Fortnite, one of the, I guess, titans of that quote-unquote fad. Obviously, MOBA games are not coming out every month like they were a couple of years ago, but I mean, obviously, as one of the biggest ones, probably the biggest one, it stayed afloat and it's king. Obviously, Riot had to do a lot to get it there, but I don't know. I think definitely the competitive aspect around the game definitely handles itself more to an esport as opposed to PUBG.
But the thing is, PUBG is already declining. So I don't know if the point of this esports roadmap is to bring up their player count or just focus on the consumer perspective. Like, no, not the consumer, the viewer perspective. You can't watch an esport that has no players.
Yeah.
What if you gotta get 100 of them now? Oh boy.
The big difficulty I have when watching an esport is if it's actually enjoyable to watch, if it's actually easy to follow the action of what's going on. And a lot of the time for these FPS games, they kind of half-ass it and just follow a player perspective all the time. And it can not really show you much of what's even going on. They need a really good spectator camera to, I think, make a really good esport. And a lot of the companies just don't do that. So it really is going to be something where they're going to have to push actually making it a viewable game if they want to sustain it as an esport.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously MOBA games have a similar dynamic in that action can happen at multiple places on the map, but just with so many players on the map, at worst comes to worst, you can have two teams fighting each other at 5 places on the map at the same time, and it's like, no one can even follow. You could show all 5 of them. You could put five different spectators and they all have a camera on the action, but a viewer just can't comprehend 5 different fights going on at the same time.
How about 100 cameras, 100 commentators? You pick whoever you want to watch. Problem solved.
100 streams.
100 streams.
I like it.
PUBG. I'm PUBG Corp. I'm free. You can hire me.
I'll contact them at Tristan@viewportgaming.com.
Yep. I will be your esports coordinator. I don't know what the title is, but I just made that up. Let's go.
I like it. All right. That concludes Royale News Network segment for today, guys. I'm sorry. We only got 2 Battle Royale news.
All right. Goodbye.
Tristan's
See you guys.
Bummed out about that one. But let's move on. We've got some Nintendo news. Nintendo, one of the companies I like the most in terms of they report numbers. No one else in the industry likes to report all their numbers, right? I mean, if it's, God of War sold 1 billion copies, we all hear about that. But they don't ever say, hey, for all of our games, this is how things sold. And I don't know if that's just because they're first party, so they own all the games, so obviously Sony doesn't own all the games that come out on their platform, even if they're exclusive, so they would have to get permission to disclose sales numbers, but we're going to play a quick game based on the Nintendo sort of quarterly report and their sales. So for this one, we are just going to do the top 10 Switch games in its lifetime, in terms of sales. So you're going to guess 1 through 10.
Top 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is this worldwide or Japan only?
This is worldwide. Lifetime sales from the Switch.
Are we
We'll
going
start with
1?
10.
Oh, we'll start with 10?
We'll start with 1.
We'll start with 1.
We'll start with 10. Let's start with 1. Yeah,
Okay.
Let's start with 1. That makes more sense.
Okay.
Easier to guess,
I'm
right?
going to guess Breath of the Wild.
I'm going with Odyssey.
Alex is correct. It is Odyssey with 11.17. And then number 2...
Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it has to be Breath of the Wild.
You guys are sleeping on one. Mario Kart 8.
What?
What?
With
Really?
10.35. Mario Kart, I think historically on the past 4 Nintendo consoles, Mario Kart has sold the most of any game. Consistently.
Wow. That's surprising.
Number 3. You guys have been shouting it out.
Breath of the
Wild?
Alright, we finally
Who
got
did
there.
it?
Okay. So 9.32 on Breath of the Wild. So it's about 1 million gap between 1, 2, and then 3 each. And then number 4.
No, just kidding.
Here's a hint. This one's big in Japan.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it must be Monster Hunter Generations. XXX.
My boys! Splatoon 2!
Oh, no!
Squid Kids!
Esports right there.
We got Squid Kids with 6.76. And then from here, I'll let you guys kind of just throw out some games, because the bottom 5 are all within about 1 million of each other.
Nintendo Labo.
ARMS.
That's actually number 11. Okay, so the next one, it's one that has dropped off the most steeply in sales from the original launch.
It's probably what
ARMS.
Alex said. It's probably ARMS.
It's actually 1-2 Switch.
I'm surprised
game
that even
that-
made top 10.
Yeah,
It's
I am
at
too.
2.45 million. I mean, let's be honest, Tristan, at the launch of the Switch, there were like 4 games.
Yeah, there were no
so
games, so yeah, it makes
Do
sense.
you have 1-2 Switch?
I do not.
Okay, good. I can at least still respect you.
Because I could play Breath of the Wild for like 100 hours. I didn't need another game.
Yeah, we're trying to get the poop hat.
And then I got it. And then number 6 was ARMS. We got 7. And take any shots?
I almost said Nintendo Labo again for some reason.
That's 11. I'll tell you that right now. That's 11.
I'm good at guessing the one that comes after the game ends for some
Kirby
reason.
Star Allies.
Alex got it right.
Really?
1.89 million on
I
Star
did it.
Allies. Can you get number 8? Or sorry, number 7. And this is number 8.
Shovel Knight.
That is incorrect. There's a little bit of not really a sleeper hit. It's the best-selling game in its franchise so far.
Yoshi?
Yoshi has not come out yet.
Okay.
I was so good.
I thought Woolly World was on Switch.
It was Xenoblade Chronicles 2
Okay.
at 1.42, and this next one came out this quarter.
Wait, how many sales did you say Xenoblade got?
1.42 million.
Wow, that's surprising. It's really low. But okay.
And it is actually, Alex, the best-selling Xenoblade game
Well,
by about 400,000 copies, I think.
Well,
Is
I
it
mean,
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker?
It is not. I think that came out too recently. They didn't have the sales numbers for that one.
No, they just didn't want it to be number 1. I know.
Bayonetta 1 and 2?
Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2.
You thought this has sold 1.4 million?
Have you played Mega Man?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Have you played
But
all
it is-
11 Mega Mans?
It is Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. So the remaster. All right, and then our last one, also this quarter. I'll just give it away because this game's taking too long. It's Mario Tennis Aces with 1.38 million.
Nintendo consumers don't know what to buy.
Anyways, let's talk about some hardware sales really quick to wrap this up. Nintendo predicted 37 million Switch sales by Q1 2019, so that'd be April of next year. They are currently at 19.67, so a little over halfway there. But this quarter one, they sold 1.88 million. So, not that much. Do you guys think that they can make that, I don't know if it's ambitious, but that 37 million units sold goal?
I think it's possible. It's the slow period of summer. We're going into the fall season. There's a couple big hitter names probably coming out this fall, so we're gonna see some numbers jump up. But it'll be rough. It'll be definitely difficult, I think.
Why not? Yeah. I don't know.
Just shoot for the stars.
I just want an opinion.
Sure, they can do it.
Just like, what do you want from me?
I actually don't know. Like, I feel like the Nintendo Switch isn't as sold out as it used to be, but I can't really gauge that if it's because there's less demand or there's more supply. I mean, Nintendo's obviously saying there's always more supply, so I can't really tell.
I'll just put it at this: in a 3-month period, this is not as much of a system seller, but Super Mario Party will come out, Pokemon will come out, and Super Smash Bros. Will come out all in the holiday season. Which is pretty crazy, I think.
Can I hot take?
Dude, I love hot takes. Give me it.
Pokemon is not a real Pokemon game. Just putting that out there.
It's not a real Pokemon game. They said
it's not.
The real one's coming out in 2019, they said at the end of the year.
They've pretty much acknowledged it too. They're like, hey, we know you don't want to wait another year, but you want a Pokemon game on your Switch. So, this is our stopgap. Whatever you want to call it.
Pokemon Ground Zeroes.
Hot take. If Waluigi isn't in Super Smash, no one's gonna buy it.
Uh-oh.
He's gonna be in there. He's an assist trophy again.
Can I drop a hot take? That might not be a hot take. This is not the real Pokemon game, but it's gonna sell at least 5 million copies.
Oh, I thought your hot take was this is not a real Super Smash game.
Oh, no. This is the ultimate. What do you mean? This is the ultimate Smash. You know what?
Have you played Street Fighter 2?
We're jumping into our next story, alright, Mr. Jung? You are a go-getter. We got a Smash Direct coming tomorrow, guys.
Wait, so the E3 video again? Is that what they're doing?
Yeah, you know, Sakurai's coming back out, rolling his old bones back out on the camera. No, we got a brand new one coming. We record this on Tuesdays, so by the time this comes out, everyone will know what's in it. And because that, we're going to throw out random predictions and be wrong and be sad. But you know what? I want to know what you guys want. I don't know how much Smash Alex plays. Tristan, you play Smash, right? What do you want? What characters do you want? What game modes do you want? What's coming out tomorrow? What are we getting? Give us a hot take. You already gave us one. Give us 2.
I want some Waddle Dee.
Waddle Dee? What would his moveset be?
Don't worry about it, okay? Like,
do you want Captain Toad?
Oh my god!
The eye laser. Give him the eye laser. I love that move.
Oh my god.
Is that what Waddle Dee does? No, that's
Waddle Doo. That's Waddle Doo.
Damn it.
Can we please put Captain Toad? # bring Captain Toad into Super Smash Ultimate. Is that too long?
Honestly, I think it's fairly likely.
That would be the most ambitious crossover of all time. But he can't jump. He can't jump, right? That has to be a thing. He can't jump.
It has to be addressed in some way. But Nintendo, Sakurai, please make it happen. Thank you.
So are you saying he can't recover?
Yes. He just he falls. I mean, you're pretty much playing Little Mac at that point. Mm-hmm. But I think we're getting tomorrow. We're gonna get one character tomorrow. I'm gonna say we're gonna get one character, and I'm saying it's gonna be either Springman from ARMS or it's gonna be a Xenoblade character. Because Sakurai loves sword wielding people, or like Tristan said, it might be Waluigi. He's heard the cries. He's heard the wahs. You know, bring our purple man. Yeah, bring our purple man in here. Get him in here. You know what it's time for though? Let's bring him back Twitter correspondent Tristan Jung. Get to the front and center. Give me what the listeners want. What do they want from Smash?
Hello, my name is Tristan Jung, Twitter correspondent, repping the users of Twitter.com. We asked our followers, what are your bets on new characters in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate? We've had a couple responses. At Eliscore said Rex/Pyra. I have no idea who those are.
Those are the Xenoblade characters.
I'm sorry. And then they also said, I love to see Amaterasu from Okami, I'm assuming.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, that'd be cool.
And or Cosmos?
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 She was a cameo character in Xenoblade 2, but she's from Xenosaga.
Cosmos, yep.
Cosmos.
But alas, I doubt it. Would be sweet as heck, though. At Arthur M. Hammer said, surely the ARMS dudes have a pretty good chance of being in there?
Oh, look at that. They're just stealing my answers now.
At Ditto Fail said, it has to be K. Rool, no doubt. He was number 5 in Japan for the ballot, and likely up there for America, too.
Oh my god. King K. Rool?
Mm-hmm.
So
I would take that.
Are you saying our boy Goku's coming in?
Imagine Alex. King K. Rool versus Ridley.
Versus Captain Toad.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Battle of the Big Boys, but then,
Captain Toad's a big boy. Have you seen his head?
that we don't know how zoomed out that game is. He could be huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe secretly Sakurai wanted to put him in the last one, but he was too big.
He was too big.
Wouldn't fit.
Look, you've played BlazBlue cross tag. You're gonna play Smash X. What Smash X?
Smash
what am I
Captain
even trying
Toad?
to say? Smash
Okay.
X Captain
The
Toad.
game, the joke is dead.
Yeah, I can't spit it out.
At 14_FWCG said Phoenix Wright.
He's already in Marvel.
Or
Good
Protag from Persona 5. I don't think that's
Joker?
gonna happen. Yeah.
Joker?
Yeah.
Hey, dude, they made Cloud happen, alright? And Ryu. Nothing's impossible. Sakurai, Sora's coming to Smash, guys, alright?
Oh, God.
Alright, he's
Sora
coming.
would fit in Smash, to be honest.
He's coming with Noctis, they're gonna come in a car together.
How about Negan from Walking Dead?
Okay.
Garfield?
Okay.
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 We have one last viewer response. At Bluemaster420 says Shantae.
What a great
Okay.
name, by the way. And a great character selection.
I could support Shantae.
But serious, Negan from Walking Dead, please.
Mhm.
There are rumors on Shovel Knight, but would they do like a Game & Watch style where he'd be like a 2D thing? But
How
I don't
about
know.
Banjo-Kazooie?
Ooh. I think the world would explode if that happened. We'll find out, guys. Like, literally 12 hours from now, we'll find out.
Everyone will find out 24 hours ago because this is coming out afterwards. So hopefully whatever we said is 100% correct. Because there has been zero fake news in this episode so far.
Exactly. We're prestigious, alright?
RNN.
No, that's over. We're now starting probably a segment, which, we love segments here, but this segment will probably be the only segment of its kind for 15 million years, because it is a Valve block segment, and Valve never puts out news or games.
But they said
And-
otherwise very recently.
That's true, and we did talk about that. But we cannot be VNN, Tristan, because VNN is already a YouTube channel, and he would sue us, and then we'd be poor. And then we would have to form RNN again. First on the chopping block, we said new games from Valve. Valve, I want to say for the first time in 7 or 8 years, ever since Portal 2 came out, they've announced the release date of their new game Artifact. It is coming out November 28th. And I don't know. We're going to be playing it at PAX. It's going to be at PAX West. Reppin', we're going to be at PAX West. Come say hi if you see us or don't. But we're going to play it. I've seen some gameplay, but I've heard it's alright of a game. But do you guys play card games at all? Are you interested in this game?
I've not played card games in this kind of style like Hearthstone, Shadowverse, etc. But I don't know. I'm kind of interested to try one sometime, and maybe Artifact will be my game at PAX.
I played Hearthstone. I used to play Pokemon TCG. I did not like them, so I don't know if I'm gonna like this. I also played Scrolls. Does anyone else remember Scrolls?
Oh, I remember Scrolls.
I paid money for that, and I did not like that either.
I liked the lore behind Scrolls more than the actual Scrolls game.
I just don't understand how to play card games.
What do you guys think about this game's model toward pretty much trying to emulate a card game in digital form? So, and by that I mean Hearthstone, you could win free gold from doing quests, but you can't trade with other players. Valve is heavily pushing their marketplace, and they're not giving away free cards at all, so that cards can retain their value and can be sold like actual physical trading cards. Do you guys think that's a cool concept? Do you think it's pretty much a pay-to-win concept? I mean, that pretty much is collectible card games, but do you think people are going to latch onto that idea at all?
To me, it's a bit weird, because this game does have an upfront cost of $20, and I guess you could say that's like the cost of your starter deck or something, but I don't know, it kind of rubs me the wrong way.
It does come with, I think they said it was like 20 boosters and 2 decks, the $20 upfront cost.
I don't know. I'm lacking.
You're lacking?
Yeah.
This game's not packing. All right.
This game is not packing. To be honest, if Valve doesn't give us an appointment, I'm not even going to wait in line.
Damn.
I'm pretty excited for this game. I played a lot of Hearthstone back in the day. Haven't tried Shadowverse, but was a big Magic the Gathering player in my earlier years, and this game is developed by Richard Garfield, in part by him. So I'm excited to see what this game will bring strategy-wise to the table. But one last final question I want to bring up is this game getting delayed, guys?
I doubt it. I think it'll come out on time. It's a card game. And Valve wants to make lots of money.
Look at the UI. I don't know how much work really needs to go in there. It just looks like the Dota 2 UI. It's even using the same characters, right? Just slap some cards on there. There you go, $20.
This is Dota 3.
This is...
Yep.
Is this
Right
Battle... Does this support Battle Royale? That's a real question.
I hope so.
Does it support? No. Battle Royales will support this game while you're in the game.
Oh.
You know when you're camping in that little outhouse in PUBG and you're like, well, we got 2 minutes till the circle.
Yep.
Just whip out a game of Artifact while you're waiting.
I'm sorry. I'm just not feeling this game at all. That's just me.
Okay, that's fine. I can understand that. But let's move on in our Valve news block. Our next 2 stories are sort of related, but we'll talk about them both, and then I'll say the headlines for both, and then we'll talk about them kind of together. It's sort of, and we've been hearing it for the past couple of months. There's a lot of movement at Valve in terms of people leaving, people coming. We had Campo Santo come and join Valve, and then now we hear that, I don't remember if it was last year or the year before, that some of the Kerbal Space Program developers went to Valve, and we've heard news now that they have left the company, so they're no longer there. And then Jay Pinkerton, a writer for Portal 2, TF2, and Left 4 Dead, has returned from Valve, I want to say, in less than a year. So what's going on in Valve is definitely, I'll just put my opinion out there super quick. I think they're serious when they say that they're getting back into making games, whether that's VR or traditional games.
Yeah, I don't know. With all this movement, I think they're trying to do something ambitious, and they're just trying to get the right team together to do it.
There are rumors that he's back to just finish the Team Fortress 2 comic series.
Half-Life Episode 3?
I mean, that's...
The finishing touches.
But he was not a writer for Half-Life, so... I mean, maybe he could take on the mantle, but... Interesting to see what is brewing at Valve. It's very interesting because they're normally a very quiet company, right? You don't hear much news from Valve ever. I mean, they don't go to trade shows, right? That often. They don't really release games that often, especially now. I mean, we've had a huge drought other than like Dota 2 coming out, but just within, I would say, a month and a half span, we've had a lot of acquisitions and leavings, and now Artifacts coming out, and just a lot of things shaking up at Valve right now. None of you want to say anything? Gosh.
I don't know. Maybe I've just given up
Tristan,
on Valve.
I've
just given up on Valve.
podcast.
No,
you've given up on the
no,
pod. You've like said I don't know for like 3 things in a row.
No, I gave pretty good opinion on Smash. Okay, I gave pretty good opinion on Artifact. I just like, I'm gonna say it again. I don't know. Valve is. I'm just like not too impressed with Valve. That's what I said when we're talking about the Steam thing too.
Is gone.
Is it mainly? I don't know if you'd classify it as disappointment. Is just because they left sort of. They kind of like they were like a big company for you, right? They made Left 4 Dead, and you really love Left 4 Dead, and they just kind of stopped making games.
I don't even know what they do anymore, right?
Mm-hmm. They make money. They make
what
money.
What do they do? Sorry, I'm just like maybe it's like nostalgic anger or something.
They banned James Too Good Harding from ever doing a Dota tournament again.
That was the trigger. That was the catalyst.
That's where it all changed.
Tristan was never the same after that.
Mm-hmm.
He was not. All right, we are concluding our probably once of ever Valve news block segment thingy. And we are moving into our last story of the day. We've got, I think we've had this rumor for a while, but the next generation of Xbox will consist of a traditional console as well as a low spec, I don't know why they say low spec, but essentially a streaming device console for Microsoft's game streaming service. And it's interesting, I think, just to see the fork that Microsoft has done of world's most powerful console, but also here's a box that has no actual like GPU hardware in it, but it streams all of your games. What do you guys think of sort of Microsoft's strategy here?
I actually like this. No, I should just say I don't know.
I don't know.
I think when companies kind of put all their eggs into this whole streaming thing, it never works out. The percentage of population that has like good enough internet to actually stream this thing, a stable internet, is very, very low. So I like how Microsoft is basically kind of providing a lot of different options for their gaming audience, right? You can either build a straight up PC that runs Windows, you can buy their console, or if you want like the most minimal setup, you can just buy the streaming hardware. So I like this strategy of them providing a lot more options to gamers rather than just having like a one box that does everything.
So I like how you brought up the tech factor, and this comes, I don't know, the timing is perfect. And it's a little sad, but you guys remember Gamefly?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Game streaming service. So it's been around a while. Obviously it hit a bunch of headlines, I want to say 6 or 7 years ago when it first came out. Essentially, for those who don't know, it's a game streaming service. And it has like applications on like TVs and stuff where people can like, I think my Samsung TV had an app where you can have Gamefly if you subscribe to it. But it is actually shutting down at the end of this month. It's going out of business. And I mean, it might seem like a dumb question, but what does Microsoft have that Gamefly doesn't? Is it the infrastructure? Is it money? Is it just there's a lot smarter engineers at Microsoft that they can get some sort of streaming platform like this to work?
Marketing, audience. Like Gamefly has to get their name known, whereas Microsoft literally lives in most people's houses.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And I think marketing is an important aspect, but I've heard and I've read things online before this where a lot of people on Gamefly didn't like it because of the latency. And you can have the best marketing in the world, but I mean, at the end of the day, can that get enough to sway people to use the service like this?
It'll sucker people into buying it at first, but no, I agree that they'll have to back up with their marketing, but I think Microsoft is in a much better position than Gamefly ever was.
Have you seen Skype? Come on, it's gonna be amazing. I feel like the big companies like Sony with their PlayStation Now, I heard it's not too bad. I haven't tried it myself. I believe Microsoft has the infrastructure. They have Azure. They have all these things that kind of that the small companies have to build on their own, or at least kind of learn how to use. But Microsoft already has a specialty, so I think they'll be able to back up their claims.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so my next question, and I don't want to ask it right now, but I'm going to talk about it, or not that I don't want to ask it. It's kind of moot.
Are you going to ask the question or not, Albert?
Yes. Well, no. Okay, let me restart.
What?
Let me
You're sending so many mixed messages right now.
Okay. So I had a question that I was going to ask of, is the technology there yet? And I think right now it's almost there, but I think if this platform were to come out 5 years from now, I mean, I think it might be viable. I know we've talked about cloud streaming platforms on this podcast before, and we sort of had a negative resentment, but that's probably just from, obviously, we can only talk about what we've experienced personally and kind of what's in the now. But I think maybe 5 years from now, this might be not the same, obviously, as having a dedicated platform playing it right there, but somewhat comparable. Would you guys be willing to try something out like this, especially if it has a lower cost to entry because there's no actual hardware in the device?
Can I spin the question a little bit?
You can spin it all you want.
Spin
you can
me
take
right
hot
round.
takes. Yeah.
What do you think will be in a better state in 5 years? VR or cloud streaming?
I think cloud streaming will be bigger than VR because I think, although it's getting better, the cost to entry to VR is high, while at least the US market nowadays prefers things like Netflix and Spotify that have streaming models where they like what if they sold this box for $50 and then you just pay $50 a year for play as many games as you want for the whole year, $50 a year. Well, maybe not 50, maybe like 15 a month or something like that. I don't know. I think that's a much more lucrative model than, hey, VR is a cooler way to play, but I mean, there's PSVR, probably Xbox will have some VR thing, but if you want to play it like really high res, like on a Vive Pro, you need to drop at least $1,000 on a system.
I mean, if you're gonna stream like a really high-res game, you need a super good internet, which might cost like upwards of $100 a month, right?
That's true, and that's a good point to bring up that I don't think these streaming platforms might get really good in the future. I don't think they'll be able to handle 4K, and I'm going to be like biting my words potentially, but I don't think it'll be like 1080p, which is still good, but...
Are you gonna, do you promise to eat a sock if in 5 years we can, if we're still
how big of a sock does it need to be?
I see.
You're going to be so disappointed when I'm cloud streaming playing Cloud in Final Fantasy VII Remake.
In 10K, not even 4K.
Mm-hmm.
In 10K.
In like 500 hertz, I think. At least.
Alex, would you try a service like this?
Sure, I'd at least try it. I don't know if I would go far beyond a trial period. Because honestly, I think right now, just hardware's going to be the way to go for years to come. Perhaps in 5 years, we'll see that change massively, especially in the US market. But for now, yeah, it's all hardware for me.
And then my final question on this seems a little silly, but I mean, we already have PlayStation Now. But do you guys see Nintendo getting into cloud gaming at all?
Oh, at least 7 years from now.
Wait, didn't they do Resident Evil?
Yes, they did, but that was
that
more
Capcom?
of a Capcom pushed thing, yeah, than a Nintendo saying, like, if Nintendo comes out next month during their what is it called?
Direct?
Nintendo Online, because they're releasing their online next month.
Wait, is that coming out?
Like,
is that actually happening?
You're gonna have to pay money next month to play online on Nintendo.
Time to dust off the old Switch.
Yeah, so if they say next month, if no one's predicting this, everyone's like, maybe Virtual Console. If they're like, we will be offering cloud gaming where you can play games completely digitally if you subscribe to our thing, is like, that's obviously not gonna happen. But 5 years from now, Nintendo, maybe?
Maybe.
They have... And I just want to say right now, they have an underpowered console. And obviously Nintendo does do things like hardware revisions, but if they could get this working well enough, maybe? What are your guys' thoughts?
Good luck getting the postman hard in Majora's Mask.
Wait, why would they need a hardware revision?
I was just thinking in like 2 or 3 years from now, like Switch games are already having pretty trouble playing the current generation games.
Yeah.
So, I would say in at least 2 years. This is like completely unrelated, but in 2 years, I think we're going to get a Switch upgrade, like a Switch Plus or whatever, Switch Ultra, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. Let's work on friend codes, or getting rid of friend codes, and then we can do cloud streaming. How about deal? Deal.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. So you're saying cloud gaming's off the table, right?
Yeah, let's work on making sure you can get a refund for your pre-orders, and all this other fundamental stuff, and then we can do cloud streaming.
Yeah.
So that's a no from Tristan.
Yeah, we gotta figure out this internet thing first. It's a bit difficult, but I think we'll get there.
Hey, if Nintendo's weird in that they run into the same issues that everyone else does, like 5 years out down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Like last podcast, we talked about Nintendo's got to figure out anti-cheat for online games. All right, everyone, that wraps it up for episode 9 of Viewport Relay. Viewport Relay is available on Radio Public, iTunes, Google Music, Stitcher, Podbean, and all your favorite podcast directories. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to subscribe, review, and share it with your friends. We're also on social media as Viewport Gaming on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. But Tristan, why Viewport Gaming?
Viewport Relay is part of Viewport Gaming, a website that provides a look into video games through reviews, features, and podcasts. You can find all Viewport content at viewportgaming.com.
All right, thanks, Tristan. And as always, I've been your host, Albert Corsten. I've been joined by Tristan Jung.
See ya.
And Alex Nestor.
Have a good one.
See you next time, everyone.